Hello, today we will recap a movie, in which a guy named Ben discovers that he can stop time. He then uses his ability to see the beauty of the world. Spoilers ahead, watch out and enjoy. The story revolves around Ben, a college student who just went through a breakup with his girlfriend, Susie. He believes he can't make her happy, so he decides to break up with her. A week later, Ben saw his ex-girlfriend, Susie, with her new boyfriend, Steve. He felt sad and full of regrets, but his best friend, Sean, advised him to move on and find a new girlfriend. Ben attempted to talk to Susie and apologize for their breakup. He tries to get back to her. But Susie refused, claiming that they couldn't be together because she is now with Steve. Ben felt increasingly frustrated as he struggled to forget about Susie. It was much harder than he had anticipated, and he found himself tormented by insomnia due to his inability to get her out of his thoughts. In an attempt to move on, Ben decided to burn the pictures of himself with Susie, hoping it would help him let go of the memories. However, when the moment came, he couldn't bring himself to do it. 7 days later, while shopping at a convenience store, Ben noticed a poster advertising a night shift job. Feeling the need to stay occupied due to his ongoing insomnia, he decided to take the initiative and applied for the job. The store manager, Alan, hired him for the night shift, giving Ben something to do during the sleepless nights. As Ben continued working the night shift, he met some unique co-workers, including Sharon, the only female employee who worked as a cashier, and his other colleagues, Barry, Matt, and Brian. After enduring 2 weeks of insomnia and boredom during the late hours, something peculiar started happening to Ben. He began to imagine that he could stop time, just like in the movies. In his mind's eye, he saw the female customers in the store freeze in place, which led him to imagine undressing, and then paint the beauty of the women's bodies. Ben's imagination became a reality as time seemed to slow down around him. Time had truly stopped. Only Ben could move normally as everyone else froze. Ben is an art student who adores the curves of women. He didn't waste this chance to do everything he'd always wanted to do, undress the women and draw their curves on paper. After Ben was done sketching during the frozen moments, he would stretch his fingers until they made a sound, and time would return to normal. He then resumed his work at the convenience store as if nothing had happened. Ben always did a good job, despite the fact that his co-workers would frequently prank and humiliate him in public. Sharon simply smiled at her co-workers' ridiculous behavior. In the dressing room, Ben offered Sharon a loaf of bread, which she gladly accepted with a smile. Curious about her change of clothes, Ben asked Sharon about it. As she enjoyed the bread he had given her, Sharon explained that she was only working the afternoon shift that day, and would be heading home soon after her shift ended. Ben attempts to halt time once more in order to prevent Sharon from leaving. But time slowed for a split second around him, and all he could see was Sharon walking out, unable to stop her. Ben returned to work. Matt then told 2 of his friends that he was taking Sharon to the movies tonight and then made love. Ben was depressed and hopeless because he couldn't get the girl he liked. The next day, Barry forced Matt to share his date night story with Sharon. Matt looked pleased. He told them that he and Sharon had sex all night long. Ben is even more devastated. Just as he was about to leave the locker room, the manager came in and announced that they were going to play a friendly football match against another branch. On the day of the match, Ben's soccer team suffered a crushing defeat. Amid the disappointment, an incident occurred when Matt accidentally kicked the manager in the face. In response, Ben instinctively froze time, perhaps to prevent further mishaps or give himself a moment to process what had happened. After walking off the field, feeling the weight of the loss, Ben stopped in front of a vending machine to get a drink. As he sipped his beverage, he heard something unusual while the world around him remained frozen in time. Ben's frown deepened as he turned around to investigate the sound. His assumption was correct, nothing should move when time was frozen. To his surprise and astonishment, he saw someone else, wearing a gray hoodie jacket. It dawned on him that he was not the only person with the ability to stop time. Ben returned to the football pitch and stretched his fingers once more, and time turned back. Matt and Ben's teammates rushed to the hospital after the game to pick up the manager, who broke his nose from Matt's kick. He then requested that Ben drive Sharon home. Ben and Sharon went to a coffee shop. He mustered all of his courage to inquire about Sharon's date with Matt, which was none of his business. Ben, on the other hand, was very curious. Furthermore, Matt is the type of person whose words are difficult to believe. Sharon, unsurprisingly, denied everything Matt said. She simply accompanied him to the movies as a friend. Sharon later admitted that she was not in a relationship with anyone. Ben was overjoyed because it meant he still had a chance to get Sharon. They then exchanged stories about romance, childhood dreams, and future desires. Ben aspires to be an artist who can show his work in art galleries all over the world. Sharon was taken aback as Ben expressed his wish with a beaming smile on his face. She admires Ben because he is devoted to achieving his goals, and artists are typically romantic. Sharon is drawn to romantic men. Alan gathered all of his employees in his office the next day, and announced that he had invited them to his birthday party. Sharon invites Ben to attend the manager's birthday party. Today is exactly 1 month Ben has had insomnia, and there is no sign of getting better. He then attempted to stop time once more. He would only paint Sharon this time. He then sketches her upper body curves from various angles, and paints them in minute detail. While she is in the dressing room, Sharon asks Ben to pick her up at the flat at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. She then kissed Ben on the lips and smiled as she walked away. Ben noticed a significant change in himself after receiving a kiss from Sharon. The curse of insomnia that had been weighing on his life vanished in an instant. He finally fell asleep that night. Ben, who had been sleeping until the afternoon, was startled awake by the sound of the phone ringing. The call came from Matt and Barry, who pretended to be the art gallery owner. They informed him that his painting would be displayed in the Proud Gallery, and invited him to visit the gallery. Ben is overjoyed because his dream will soon come true. Later that night, Ben arrived on time at Sharon's apartment. He informed Sharon that an art gallery owner was interested in displaying his painting, and that they had scheduled an appointment for the following week. Sharon feels happy that Ben accomplished his dream. Following that, the two went to the manager's birthday party together. Ben even met Susie when he arrived at Alan's house. He found out that Steve, Susie's boyfriend, is the younger brother of his manager. Ben tells Susie that he works at a convenience store as a night shift clerk, and Alan is his boss. Not to mention that Ben introduced Sharon to his ex-girlfriend. The party became more lively as the clock approached midnight. Ben was waiting in queue to pee when he ran into Susie, who had just exited the washroom, and went straight to him. Susie wants to rekindle their relationship because she still loves Ben and can't let him go. Susie appears to be very sorry. But Ben was confused. He is currently involved with Sharon, but he still has feelings for Susie. Ben decides to reject Susie and choose Sharon. Ben is taken by surprise when Susie unexpectedly kisses him. Sharon witnesses this and leaves the scene feeling hurt and disappointed. Ben firmly rejects Susie's advances and time briefly stops. Seeing Sharon standing still, Ben realizes the gravity of the situation and desperately tries to think of a way to win her heart back. She must be disappointed to see Susie kissing him, even if it was all a mistake. A brilliant idea has finally emerged from the long freeze of time in his mind. He plans to show Sharon's painting in the Proud Gallery, then invites her to his exhibition to see it. He stretched his fingers after figuring out a solution, and time got back to normalcy. Ben then went to Sharon's apartment, trying to explain about Susie. Sharon, on the other hand, yelled at him and threw him out. Ben's fight with Sharon resurrects insomnia that had vanished when Sharon entered his life. He resumes his hard days and late nights. He was even more tormented after Sharon quit her job as a convenience store cashier. The appointment date arrived. Ben goes to the Proud Gallery with his paintings and meets Alex Proud. Ben informs Alex that he received a phone call from him a few days ago. But Alex had never met Ben and had never called him. Ben looks disappointed, then realizes the call was a prank call made by his coworkers to prank him. He was leaving, but the owner stopped him. Alex then asked Ben to show his paintings. Unexpectedly, he was taken with the paintings and agreed to exhibit Ben's work in his gallery. Ben then invites Sharon to see an exhibition of his paintings at the Proud Gallery. The big day had finally arrived. People flocked to art galleries to stop and stare at Ben's work. He had no idea how well his paintings would be received. Even some visiting art gallery directors were taken aback, and inquired if Ben planned to hold a painting exhibition soon. Ben was pleased with his first painting exhibition. His happiness, however, is incomplete without the presence of the woman he loves. Not long after, the person he had been waiting for entered the gallery, wearing a red dress and long blonde hair. She was astounded to discover that the paintings in the gallery were her own, and that they were so beautifully drawn, exuding Sharon's beauty from every angle. Sharon then approached Ben and expressed her feelings about the painting exhibition. She also congratulated Ben on his painting exhibition's success. Ben then apologizes to Sharon, and describes the kissing incident at Alan's birthday party. But Sharon cut him off before he could say anything, saying that the exhibition of Ben's paintings was sufficient to express all of Ben's feelings for her. Sharon raised her gaze to the window behind Ben. Ben turned around and saw that it was snowing that night. He then asked Sharon, Do you believe me?" and kissed her. Time came to a halt. Sharon looked perplexed because everyone had gone completely still, but Ben grabbed her hand and led the girl out of the room. The movie ends with a beautiful scene outside, where snowflakes freeze in the air, creating a magical sight. Ben and Sharon enjoy each other's company amidst the frozen snowflakes.